Title: What He Wouldn't Say Out Loud. I never thought I'd find myself forced to choose between my only daughter and the man I rebuilt my life with. But choices, especially the impossible ones, have a way of cornering you, demanding answers you never wanted to give. My name's not important. Let's just say I'm in my mid-50s, married to a man I believed would be my peace after decades of chaos. His name is Victor. We met at a local art gallery where I was volunteering after my divorce. He was charming, older, quiet in a way that felt safe. We married within 2 years. I thought he was gentle. Thought. I have a daughter, Maya. She's 23 now. She's brilliant, imaginative, sharp, and endlessly complex. Our relationship, though, complicated. It always has been. When Maya was a child, her father and I fought constantly. She heard things no child should hear, words flung like knives, doors slammed so hard the frames splintered, and she internalized all of it. She grew up quiet, withdrawn, and eventually diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder. A shield, they said, a mechanism for her to survive what she couldn't process. The guilt of that diagnosis still claws at me. When Maya told me she was being bullied in middle school, taunted for her hygiene, her silence, the way she drifted, I froze. I'd always believed children were innocent, incapable of true malice. That belief cost Maya dearly. I didn't protect her when I should have. Instead, I told her to clean up, to blend in. I bought her new clothes, hoping she'd be less of a target. It wasn't enough. One of the girls got suspended, another expelled, but Maya never let go of the humiliation or of my silence. My silence. My silence. When she finished college classes last fall, I offered her a room in our house while she looked for a job. I told myself it would be healing, mother and daughter reconnecting, stitching together old wounds. And maybe she'd finally see that I wasn't that woman anymore, the one who let her suffer quietly in the shadows. But I didn't anticipate what would happen between Maya and Victor. At first, things were tolerable, tense, but tolerable. Maya was always in her room, sketching or writing or curled up with her headphones in. She hated noise, hated small talk. She'd wait until we were done with dinner to sneak into the kitchen. But Victor would sometimes sit across from her anyway, chatting politely, making small observations about the weather, her books, her food. She told me it made her uncomfortable, that he was intruding on her quiet. I told her he was just being friendly, just trying. Then things changed. Victor grew distant. At first, I thought it was stress. He'd been working long hours, and our financial situation wasn't great. But then he started avoiding intimacy. He was restless at night, cold. Maya, too, seemed off. She'd slam her door. Her eyes would narrow whenever Victor walked into the room. One evening, after yet another argument, Maya accusing him of watching her too long, and Victor storming out, I demanded an explanation. What he said still makes my stomach turn. He told me, "It's hard to be around her. She's beautiful and young. She reminds me of what I'll never have again." I stared at him, mouth dry. "She's my daughter." "I know," he said, his voice hoarse. "That's why I haven't done anything. But I can't lie. It's tearing me apart." That night, I didn't sleep. Maya stayed locked in her room, blasting ambient noise through the walls. I stared at the ceiling, wondering how everything unraveled so fast. I didn't blame her. God, I didn't. But the thought of them both in the house, with Victor nursing his shame and Maya picking up on every uncomfortable glance, was unbearable. So I asked her to leave, not permanently, just for a little while. I gave her cash and told her to stay at a local extended stay hotel, just until things cooled down. I told her to reach out to her university. She qualified for emergency housing, especially given her diagnosis and financial dependency on an unemployed father. She didn't say anything. She just stared at me like I'd struck her. Then she left. The fallout was instant. Her father, a man who hadn't shown up to a single therapy session or graduation, suddenly decided to care. He blasted me on social media, called me a monster, a coward. The comments rolled in like waves. My inbox filled with messages from people who knew nothing, telling me I'd thrown my daughter to the wolves to protect a predator. But it wasn't about protecting Victor. I didn't even know if I wanted to stay married to him anymore. I just needed space. I needed time to think, to figure out whether this house held anything worth salvaging. Then, 3 days later, Maya stopped answering her phone. Her friend Anna called me in a panic. Maya had missed a counseling appointment. She wasn't at the hotel. I drove around for hours, heart hammering, checking hospitals, libraries, even the quiet pond near her old high school. I found her eventually, sitting alone at a 24-hour diner, her notebook open, untouched coffee cooling beside her. I didn't want to come back, she said without looking at me, but I didn't know where else to go. I offered to take her to Anna's. She refused. That's when she told me everything. Victor had messaged her, not during her stay, months before. Creeping compliments, late-night texts saying she was mature beyond her years, that he saw something in her mother never had. She ignored them, deleted them, hoping it would stop. But it didn't, and she never told me because she knew I wouldn't believe her. I wanted to say she was wrong, but my silence years ago still hung between us like a noose. I confronted Victor that night. His face turned pale when I showed him the texts, then red, then cold. I told you I never touched her, he said, as if that made it better. You tried, I said, and you failed, because she's braver than you. He packed a bag that night. He left the next morning. Maya hasn't moved back in. She's staying with Anna while she finishes her final credits. We talk now, carefully, cautiously. She hasn't forgiven me. I'm not sure she should. But we're trying, one conversation at a time. As for Victor, I filed for separation 2 weeks later. He emailed once saying he was getting help. I didn't reply. There's no neat ending here, no wrapped up bow or grand reconciliation, just a mother learning, too late, what it means to choose right over comfort. But at least now, I'm choosing.